Okay, I want to look at some problems, some of the problems that were on your assignments. You did a pretty decent job on them, okay? You really did for that many in a row. Thank you for trying and getting those done. Now, I want you to be on this packet. I do want to go over some and make some corrections. Some of them I might explain a little bit differently. In this packet here, I want you to please go to these shape problems, okay? Because these will be on when you take the test or this. These will definitely be on here. These look like the same shape, just one's bigger than the other. Same exact shape. So here's how we're going to set up our proportion right here, and I'm going to change the way I'm explaining it a little bit, like a lot. Right here, put X with your question mark and put X with just X over 45. You can go 45 over X. I usually line the X on top. Now, over on this proportion, what side is most like the X? What side would match up with the X? Here's X. Now go look at this one, because it would be 8. So I need to put 8 across from X. And then what side would match up with 45? It would be 60. Okay, so as you can see, that's different than the way we did it here. Just go with what I just taught, went right there. So just put the X with the side that you have, and then this would line up with X. This would line up with 45. Okay, so let's do our X there. So X times 60 would be 60 with X. Don't put X 60, put the number, then the X, and we're going to take 8 times 45. That's 360. Okay, now we're going to divide by 60. So 360 divided by 60 is going to give me 6. Okay, so X would be equal to 6 in that problem. Number 17, okay. Again, here's the X, just put X over 7. Now what side would line up with the X on the bigger shape? It'd be 24. And then what side would match up with the 7? It'd be 14. So a little bit of a change, okay. So you take 14x, and then on the other way you go 7 times 24. So 168, and then I'm going to go divide the equation by 14. So I take 168 divided by 14, and that's 12. So x is equal to 12 right there. So make those corrections right there, just off to the side. Now, that's good in that one. Now, I want to look at this one right here. 10% of my, let's go to the assigned problems, okay. Now your label on the top, what I want you to start putting on top, erase gnomes, just you take your pencil and erase it, and I want you to erase the numbers over here, okay, just erase the numbers. Now I want you to write what I have in the circle, just put had happy faces, the circle's there to help you. And then underneath that, I want you to write total. Had happy faces and total. Write those things. Okay, now let's read. Did it say 560 gnomes had happy faces? No, it did not. Okay. So I want to know how many gnomes had happy faces, and 560 is not that amount. Okay, so we don't have the happy faces, so I line up X right there. So you put an X where that. 560 is your total. So you need to reline that up. Instead of 560 instead of 560 with empty, it's X. You don't know how many gnomes had happy faces just by reading the problem. Yeah, you know the percent that did, but you don't know how many actual gnomes. Like, what did 4 gnomes have happy faces? Did 5? Did 6? Whatever. I don't know, so I put X and I put 560. Okay, so come up here. And now X is here, so I'm going to have X times 100, that's 100X. And over on the other side, I'm going to take 20 times 560. So it's 11,200. set up your division. You have 100, okay? Cross those out. 11,200 divided by 100 is going to be 112. So the answer is 112, okay? So put 112 where you had happy faces. Okay, next one. This problem makes no sense. We're not doing that. I wrote that like a stupid moron. Okay. This one's right. Okay. This one, you're going to erase these ones. Okay. The 32, just erase what you have there. Okay. And then erase this right here. If I scribble it out, that means you erase it. Now on top, I want you to put what I put in the circle. Just put attended the school play, okay? And then down here's your total. Now, how many students attended the school play? I'm going to read that. You tell me how many, you in your head say this is how many students, not the percent, how many. 20% of the students attended the school play. If 160 students attended the play, oh, we do know how many attended the play. It was 160. So I place 160 on top, and I don't have my total, so I place X right there. Okay, I want you to write attend the school play and then total. Okay, so we're going to reset that equation. It's going to be 20X. And over on the other side, we're going to be taking 160 times 100, and that's going to be 16,000. So then when I divide by 20, and 16,000 divided by 20 is going to be 800. So X equals 800. It's 8. Just put 800. That's how many total students you have. 160 attended the play. That would be 20%. Okay, number 5. Yeah, erase this one here. Okay, erase it. And we're going to erase that one right there. Now, keep your 20 over 100, okay? Keep your 20 over 100 and make a new line over there. Now, on top, I want you to write what I've circled, rent, and then down put total. You're always going to put total with these type of problems. Now, the unit is money. How much money was spent on rent? Okay, I'm going to read that. I spent 20% of my paycheck on rent. I spent I do know how much was spent on rent. It was $600. So $600 belongs here, and I don't know my total. Okay, so 20 times X would be 20X. And then a 100 times 600 is 60,000. Okay, now divide that by 20. So 60,000 divided by 20 gives me 3,000. Okay, so you're going to put 3,000 dollars through 3,000 in your total. This one's okay. Okay, number 7. 40% of the clowns in the circus have red noses. If 30 clowns have red noses, how many clowns are in the circus? Again, you can't just throw that number on the bottom every single time. You have to kind of, and then erase that ratio, erase the 12 over 30 and make a new line. And then erase that because we're going to set this up differently. Now again, read the problem. The 40% needs to match up with have red noses. How many have red noses? And then the bottom is the total, hundreds of. So I'm going to read this problem. You tell me how many, an actual number as far, not a percent, as far as how many have red noses. 40% of clowns in a circus have red noses. 30 clowns have red noses. Okay, I know how many have red noses, so I put 30 there, so it's across from 40%. Then down there, I leave here. Okay, so I take 40 times X, going to be 40X. And on the other side, I take 100 times 30. 100 times 30 is 3,000. Okay, so it's dividing time by 40. So 3,000 divided by 40 gives me 75. So I put 75 in the empty space. Okay. There are 75 total clowns, 30 have red noses. Sometimes you're finding the total. Okay. Now, you don't need to take notes on this one. Just watch the video and I'll explain why this is correct. You don't have to redo this one. Okay. This is correct. Don't write this, just watch. So if I'd put 70% and 100% warm-blooded, this is my total. Now I want to know how many animals are warm-blooded. I'm going to read that and you say to yourself, does it ever say? 70% of the animals in the zoo are warm-blooded. If there are 400 animals at the zoo, how many were warm-blooded? Okay. Yeah, I don't know how many were warm-blooded. That's why I put X here, and I put 400 as my total then. So that's right. That's set up exactly correct. So, and yeah, it's 280. But again, you got to use that word to label the top, and then the bottom's your total. Whatever word that is should line up from the percent given in the problem, and then 100% needs to line up with your total. Okay, now this one here, again, we're only fixing the one. Number one's correct, okay. Number two, don't flip them. It always goes after before, okay. I'm going to repeat that. Always goes after and before. The percent that's not at 100% is your after, and this is your before. Okay, so we're going to take those out. So it says, what's the price after? So I don't have the top. The 450 goes on bottom. Okay, that's your before. So again, make that change. It's always after before. Okay. Actually, let's not. You know what you're doing. You just need to be consistent in how you label the after before. So it's always after before. After before. After before. So that one's probably right. Okay. That one's probably not, because it's always after before. With these adding and subtracting onto 100%, then the other ratio's after before, never before after. Don't set it up that way. The 100% is always lined up from the before. Again, after before, not before after. After before, not before after. After before. It's always after before. The before just lines up with the 100 every single time. Okay, we don't need to correct all those because that's the only thing that we're getting. With increases in percent, the 100% is always lined up from the before.